Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our Honorable Chief Minister of Mizoram, Sri Zoram Thana. And I would like to invite Dr. Basan Garg, Additional Chief Executive Officer, National Health Authority. Thank you. I would like to invite Sri Gayasuddin Ahmed, Financial Advisor, National Health Authority. And may I kindly invite Dr. Siddharth Singh, CEO, SHS. Thank you, everyone. Srimati Estella Watkimi, Principal Secretary, Health and Family Welfare Department, Government of Mizoram, for the welcome remark.
The Honorable Chief Minister of Mizoram, Zoram Thana, and other dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to welcome all of you to the Northeastern Regional Review meeting, and I am so happy to see all of you. You have come in from different parts of the Northeast and from Delhi. And I sincerely hope that this review meeting would not be conducted in just a routine manner, but from this review meeting, the sessions that are going to be there today and tomorrow, I hope that we would learn from each other and that we would really benefit from the sessions, so that when we go back to our respective states, we would do better. And today it is my, I would like to first of all welcome the Honorable Chief Minister, who in spite of his very, very hectic schedule has given us time to be here. And sir, it is really an honor for us to have you in our midst as our chief guest. And as all of you know, he will be delivering the presidential speech. And sir, thank you so much. I also would like to take this opportunity to welcome the Chief Executive Officer of the National Health Authority, Shri S. Gopalakrishnan, Additional CEO, Dr. Basan Garg, Director, Joint Directors and other important officials from the National Health Authority. And of course, the most important are the participants, the delegates from all the Northeast states. I believe for some of you, you would have come to Mizoram before, but for some of you, it may be your first visit. Yesterday, we had a bit of a freak weather condition where everything became dark and there was all of a sudden showers, and this was the first showers that we had in this year. So I was thinking maybe this event has given us that showers of blessing which was very, very much needed. And today, see, the weather has cleared again so beautifully. So while you are here in Aizawl, please make the most of your visit. Go around and see, meet people and have a good time. And those of you who have come for the first time, enjoy the weather, enjoy the people, and do come back again with your families. See, the importance of Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, I think all of us are aware. And as we all know, it's the flagship scheme of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. There are so many people still in our society who, without this scheme, would really be in a very difficult situation. Because as the world progresses, medical care improves, but then the cost of medical care also increases. So it is in such a situation that schemes like this have so much more importance. And it is our job to see that people who are eligible to be beneficiaries under these schemes are reached. I don't have the statistics and I don't have an idea, but I'm sure there are still a lot of unreached people whom we have not brought into this thing. So I think we should take this as a challenge, that there is a scheme under the Government of India. We are the people who are implementing it. So let us make sure that the scheme is implemented in letter and spirit, so that the purpose for which the scheme was made, the purpose for which the scheme was formulated, does really get fulfilled through all of us, through you and me. So I wish this review meeting all the success, and as I said earlier, I hope it would be a good interactive time for all of us to learn from each other's experiences and to try and forge a new way in the future where we can improve and we can deliver better service. Thank you so much. Welcome to all of you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the warm welcome. Now we would like to present a video on Ayushman Sangam Northeast prepared by National Health Authority. Please enjoy the video.
Ayushman card আমার মেয়ে উপকৃত হয়েছে। এই কার্ডটা যদি না পাইতাম আমরা আমার মেয়ের বাঁচাতে ক্ষমতা হতো। ভারতের প্রধানমন্ত্রী আর ত্রিপুরার মুখ্যমন্ত্রী আমি আন্তরিক।
Kaming susag sang lian ni ako somling mga kani ay tiyang ay zola kani kapasal fanate ne ay tiyang kan senga panu pakadle pagpapani kaniya arin ma exonga into kani patsung kwanan man na kani ngai lawa mase golden kati atirte tangha kalo siate de china bandol ha takin samasakan bronchitis na sa hospital ako ya sa kanairan sa lola tagaya kami rotso golden kar pangin
अपना प्रेजेंटेशन प्रस्तुत करेंगे।
Good morning, friends. Respected Shri Zoram Thanga, Honorable Chief Minister of Mizoram, Shri S. Gopal Krishnan, respected CEO of NHA, Shrimati Esther Lal Kimi, Principal Secretary, Health and Family Welfare, Department, Government of Mizoram, my colleague Shri Gyasuddin Ahmed, Financial Advisor NHA, my friend Siddharth, CEO SHA Assam, and all the teams from various states, northeastern states who are joining us here today. I'm here to make a brief presentation before all of you on Ayushman Bharat PMJ scheme and the various state schemes that have converged. But let me start by thanking our host, Mizoram, for such a gracious welcome. And also thank Honorable CM. Sir, your presence here highlights the importance you give to the scheme. We are very thankful at NHA that you have decided to spare some time for the program. So really thankful, sir.
Next slide, please.
Okay. So I'd like to start by giving a brief overview. Yeah. As you can see, the various states have been allocated beneficiary families, and we can see that Arunachal has, say, 98,844 families. Similarly, Assam has. So against all the allocated beneficiary family share for each state, the states are also running their schemes. As you can see, states of Assam, Meghalaya and Nagaland, they have converged their state schemes with the national scheme, the Ayushman Bharat PMJ, and this converged scheme is now running. Whereas there are states of Arunachal, Manipur and Mizoram which are yet to converge their schemes with Ayushman Bharat PMJ. So that is one very initial request to the states who have not converged their schemes to also maybe look at this and maybe converge their schemes in the near future. Sikkim and Tripura are not running their own state schemes, so they are as of now only implementing the Ayushman Bharat PMJ. With convergence, we mean that the benefits available in the state scheme are the same and similar to the benefits available in the Ayushman Bharat PMJ. Second important component of convergence is that we'll have a co-branded Ayushman Bharat card, wherein the branding for the Ayushman Bharat PMJ scheme and the various schemes such as the Chief Minister's Arogya Arunachal or the Chief Minister's Health Technology or the Mizoram State Health Scheme. So all that co-branding can happen along with the Ayushman scheme on the Ayushman card, as is happening in the case of Assam, Meghalaya and Nagaland. Next please. My next slide here highlights, next. Yeah. So this slide highlights the trends of Ayushman card creation. As you can see, so we have kept Assam separate.
Back. Yeah.
Okay. Please. Somebody who's running this slide, please stable. Okay, thank you. So we have tried to keep Assam separate because Assam has the largest number of Ayushman cards. So as you can see, various states, Arunachal has issued 34,791 cards, whereas Manipur 82,000 odd, Meghalaya 73,000 odd, Mizoram 77,000 odd, and Nagaland has 1,63,000. The important point to note here is, if on the table below, you can see the number of families which have at least one Ayushman card. States like Meghalaya and Tripura, they have already crossed 80% of the families. So more than 80% of families there have at least one card. Now this is very important for NHA because as more and more people have this card, they are able to avail health services, and this will help hospitalization and scheme uptake. We'll come to this later also, but the worrying part is that states like Arunachal, Assam, Nagaland, Sikkim and Manipur, they really need to catch up. It's noteworthy that Assam is really doing very well now, creating close to 2 lakh cards every day. So Assam is actually catching up. They started just about 2 months back, as can be seen from the graph, but now they are creating more than 2 lakh cards every day. Whereas other states, they really need to, we need to create more cards so that the beneficiaries are identified and the beneficiaries are aware of the benefit under the scheme, and they can go to a hospital and claim these benefits whenever they need it. Next. Now, here we have tried to collate the hospital admissions since scheme inception, and as can be seen, this is directly correlated to the number of cards issued. In the last slide, the states which were having lesser number of cards, beneficiary families with at least one card, those states are again those ones which are having less number of hospital admissions. So the scheme has not yet taken off. This is true for Arunachal. This is also true for Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland and Sikkim. Assam, you can see this compared to the size, still we find that the number of hospitalizations is less. But we hope that now, since Assam is going ahead and creating more and more cards, the scheme uptake will go up. Meghalaya is doing a very good job. Even with the limited number of cards, the scheme uptake is very good. That shows that the citizens, the patients in Meghalaya, they are aware of the scheme. They are using the card, whether it's in a public hospital or maybe in a private hospital, but they are using the scheme benefits and utilizing them. Same holds true for Tripura. So Tripura also, the number of hospitalizations is very good. Next. Now, another important component of the scheme is reflected in the hospitals empaneled. And we have tried to collate here that how many public as well as private hospitals have been empaneled in each state. And the worrying factor here is that inactive public hospitals and inactive private hospitals. Now, inactive is the hospitals which have not done any pre-authorization. They have not given any treatment for the last 6 months. Now, these are the hospitals we want to target, and we want to convert these hospitals from inactive to active. So that is another ask from NHA to all the states to activate these hospitals, to energize them so that they accept patients. They are already empaneled, but they accept patients and they start giving treatment under the Ayushman Bharat PMJ scheme. On the right hand side, we have tried to collate beds per lakh eligible population. This is the beds in the empaneled hospitals. And here again, we can see that 3 states are below the regional average, and even Assam is very, maybe Assam is driving the average. But point is, we have to increase the states on the left. They have to increase the number of availability of beds per lakh eligible population. So maybe the empanelment of hospitals has to go up. I do understand that there would be lesser number of private hospitals, private facilities in this area, but still we have to make efforts to increase the number of maybe the public hospitals which are empaneled in PMJ. And similarly, we can see the percentage of treatments, the pre-authorizations in private hospitals. Here again, I think it's mainly because of the presence of the private sector in Tripura, Arunachal, Mizoram and Sikkim, that the participation of the private sector in this scheme is pretty low. Next. Now, after the treatment comes the claims, and here in this slide we have tried to highlight the number of claims which are pending and percentage of claims which are pending with the SHAs and or maybe with the insurance companies. And as can be seen, 7% of total claims are pending. So that is 1 lakh claims, close to 1 lakh claims are pending in this state. So that is another ask from NHA side. Please have a look at the claims processing mechanism in your state. The high dependency has to be brought down. Though the whole northeastern region is doing very well compared to the rest of India in claims processing, but still our target is 15 days for the turnaround time. So it is a request that we have to aspire to take it down to 15 days. Next. Now in this one we are trying to tell you the state-wise claims overdue, the claims pending which are beyond the approved tag, and you can see of course Assam with the large number is having the largest number of overdue claims, and you can see that claims amount also Assam is the leader, but I think we do expect all the states to make an effort to reduce the pendency in claims. Next. Now this one is a very worrying factor for us, because we in NHA are very particular and we want to reduce the misuse of our scheme. Our anti-fraud mechanism, it triggers cases through an AI mechanism, artificial intelligence mechanism, totally rule-based mechanism. It triggers suspicious cases and sends these suspicious cases to the state. Now the state is expected to take a decision on these suspicious cases. Finally, there are only two outcomes. Either this suspicious case is a proved fraud, or this suspicious case is not a fraud. Now there is a huge number of pendency of these cases. As you can see, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura are having more than 50% cases pending, which have been triggered to the states, which have been highlighted to the states. But a lot of pendency is there in clearing these cases. Now imagine the kind of misuse that could be there, or the kind of false alarm. It could either be misuse or it could be a false alarm. So we really need to work to bring down this pendency. Assam and Nagaland are doing pretty okay, but still we have to make efforts. Next. This is the status of fund release year on year, and as can be seen, the scheme uptake in the whole of the Northeast has increased compared to 2021, 21-22, and this year, of course, all the states are utilizing it much better. We have already released the funds that are highlighted here in the last but right column, and of course in the rightmost column, we have indicated what funds we are going to send in the next couple of days. In the next maybe 5-7 days, we'll send across these funds. But again, my request is for Sikkim and for Arunachal. The total funds which could have been availed by these states is much higher. As you can see, Arunachal could have got 11 crores rupees, whereas till now they have only availed in this year 1.77 crore, which is better than earlier years, but still there is a lot of scope for improvement. And similarly, Sikkim also, we would really request the state of Sikkim to utilize more funds, to ask for more funds. Next, please. Now, these are some of the key initiatives from NHA to improve quality, to improve patient experience. And the first one is the Health Benefits Package 2022. This is the latest of the health packages, and most of the northeastern states have already adopted it. Arunachal and Mizoram, maybe you may want to have a look at it. I know we have already received the feedback that the packages are complex, but please do have a look at it. We have given full flexibility to the states to adopt the kind of packages you want, but once you have decided to adopt HPP 2022, please do adopt it as a whole. Then important initiative from us is the e-rupee. So e-rupee is a targeted voucher, electronic voucher, generated for a particular service only. For example, today in a public hospital, if a patient is prescribed a test, he may have, if the test is not available in the same hospital, he may have to spend from his own pocket. Now, in order to prevent this out-of-pocket expenditure from the patient, we have developed this product of e-rupee, and it is widely used now in various states. And The e-rupee will be generated by the same public hospital. It will be sent on the mobile of the patient, and the patient can go and avail this diagnostic test. You know, it's a QR code based voucher. It is redeemable only at facilities which are, say, giving that diagnostic test, and the patient will not have to pay anything from the pocket. The money will flow from the SHA account to the diagnostic facility. So this is another unique way in which we are able to prevent out-of-pocket expenditure. Our ask at NHA from the states is maybe 1 or 2 states can look at e-rupee voucher. Maybe you can ask more about it, get more details about it, and if you are interested, we would like to implement e-rupee voucher in 1 or 2 states of Northeast as well. Already Madhya Pradesh, Chandigarh, Chhattisgarh, many states are adopting the e-rupee voucher. We have sent across the uniform kiosk. Now this is again an ask from NHA. We have sent across a design of a kiosk which is expected to be placed in every empaneled hospital, be it a public or a private hospital. Now, Assam has given us the information that they have already started implementing it. Very soon they'll be coming up with these kiosks at the hospitals. The purpose of this kiosk is that any patient who walks into a hospital, a public or a private hospital, he can check his eligibility at this kiosk. So a poor patient is actually, there's a huge difference of the power metrics between a patient and a hospital. But when there is a visible kiosk, a branded kiosk, the patient can visit the kiosk, check his eligibility, and then he can claim the benefits. He can claim the treatment. So this kiosk for us is a very important feature. I would request all the 7 other states who have till now not made any initiative on the kiosk to please implement it. Next is the Ayushman Aapke Dwar drive. We are seeing some response from the states on this. Another important feature which we have introduced is the green channel. Maybe later I'll tell you about the green channel, but we would request the states to consider implementing the green channel, and the states which don't have a beneficiary facilitation agency, the Pradhan Mantri Arogya Mitra, the person who will help the patients to get these services. Maybe we can also have a look at beneficiary facilitation agency deployment, because wherever the BFAs have been deployed by any state, the uptake of the scheme in public hospitals has also gone up. Next, please. I will just like to, just highlight. I will not go into the details next. So we are having some state-wise information we are projecting here, and there are some actionables we are expecting from these states. So for Arunachal, we really want the scheme to take off. In Arunachal, the scheme hasn't taken off. We want the state of Arunachal to go on a card creation drive. I think the card numbers are dismally low for Arunachal. The convergence of the Chief Minister's Arogya Arunachal Yojana. So we want this convergence with the scheme. And of course, once the scheme is converged, the tagging of the beneficiaries will need to be done. And the building and other construction workers also, we want the scheme to be implemented for them. So these are some of the points that we could think of immediately from Arunachal. These are state-specific points. Next, please. Assam. I think Assam has done a wonderful job in the last 2 months for card creation. We are looking for increased utilization in the 7 medical colleges. Of course, the number of medical colleges in Assam is going up. We want 100% screening of IPD cases at public hospitals. We want to strengthen the hospital network. I think this is very important because, for all the other states of Northeast, Guwahati and Assam can emerge as a portability hub. For many facilities which are not available, those health facilities can be availed in Guwahati. Though I am aware that we recently had this conversation with Nagaland, that many people from Nagaland, they actually fly to Delhi, not even to Guwahati or Kolkata, health services, but still, we would like to see that Assam develops as a hub for health facilities. And of course, building and other construction workers is yet to be implemented in Assam as well. Next, please, Manipur. So we want the convergence of the state schemes. We want the state to clear the suspected fraud cases, and we want the state to achieve Ayushman card saturation by embarking on a card drive. Next, please. Meghalaya. Yes. And in Meghalaya, the actionables that we are asking from the state is, we want the state to onboard a beneficiary facilitation agency if possible. We have to improve the claims settlement TAT, the turnaround time, and the IEC for the scheme needs to be improved. Next, please. Mizoram. Again, we want the state to onboard a BFA. We want the Ayushman cards numbers to be saturated, investigation of pending cases, and we want the convergence with the state schemes. That is a very important thing for us, and a co-branded card. Next, please. Yeah, briefly about Nagaland, we want to strengthen the Ayushman card drive. As of now, very few people, only one fourth of the population has been issued, eligible population has been issued cards. We want the scheme uptake to improve, and we want maybe a BFA to be deployed. Next, please. Sikkim. Again, 1/4 of the cards have been issued. We have to create the cards for 3/4 of the population, which will of course lead to improvement in the scheme uptake, and the building and other construction workers also have to be included. The last state is Tripura. Next, please. Yeah, Tripura. So again, we are repeating, we want to onboard BFA. Tripura has declined the green channel. I think we will, through our workshop here, through our review today, we would like to understand the reasons for that. And we would like the building and other construction workers also to be included in this. And I would like to summarize with the key action points of today's regional workshop that we could think of. Of course, during the day we will get lot of information, lot of demands from the state. We hope to increase this list of key actionables maybe to 20, 30. But as of now, what we could at NHA we can start off with is that we want a sustained IEC drive and a card saturation, Ayushman card saturation drive in all of the states. Timely claim settlement and implementation of green channel payments. So we will have a discussion about it. The third one is installation of Ayushman kiosk. The one I was talking about, it is very important from the NHA point of view. Let me tell you that in the kiosks, we have gone for co-branding. The schemes, both the schemes will carry equal weight, the central scheme as well as the state scheme. And similarly, the leadership of both the center and the states have been accorded equal and due importance in the branding. So that is a request from our side. Please go ahead with the installation of Ayushman kiosk. There is a demand for convergence of the state schemes, where 3 of the states are yet to converge their schemes, onboarding BFAs, and we really want you to clear the suspected fraud cases. With this, I would like to thank you all for listening to me patiently. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pasankar.
Thank you so much. Now I would like to invite our dignitaries to come back on the dais, please.
अब मैं श्री एस गोपालकृष्णन जी से अनुरोध करती हूँ कि वे मंच पर आकर अपना भाषण प्रकट करें।
Honorable Chief Minister, sir, my colleagues from the NHA, Secretary and the officers from Mizoram, and people who have come from all the state health agencies. It is indeed an honor to be here, and we are deeply in gratitude to the Honorable Chief Minister for sparing his valuable time. As was mentioned, this indicates the importance he accords to this critical area. I think over the presentation, we have seen what are the key areas in which we deliberate over the next 2 days. I would just like to state that each state is different. Each state has its own flavor, own problems, own solutions. So all of us are year-round doing our work in the offices. But over these 2 days, it will help if we share our experiences and try to see how we can solve the problems. It requires a very concerted effort by the SHAs. For example, if all the eligible people in a state, either under the convert scheme or at least the PMJ or the state scheme, if they are not aware that they are a beneficiary of a particular scheme, and if they don't have a card, then I don't think we can expect greater uptake. So I think one priority should be to ensure that how do we reach the card, now for which there is a mechanism, identify, print and give a card. And if everybody in this country is familiar with Aadhaar and other cards, so it's not a very complicated card. If a person could be coordinated to go to the CSC or some other center, the printout of the card on plain paper is immediately available, almost just like a PAN card or Aadhaar card. So we, I think, should ensure that we saturate, cover all the beneficiaries and give a card to every eligible person. The next effort is to have more and more hospitals empaneled, and this is relevant to the states which haven't converged. I'm sure there is increasing mobility. People are moving across the country to various states, etc. One fundamental benefit of a converged card is anybody can avail the services anywhere. See, we saw the slide about the number of hospitals, public hospitals or private hospitals, hundreds, it's in the hundreds. Whereas overall, you have more than 25,000 hospitals across the country. So whenever anybody travels anywhere, they can definitely make use of it if they are in the converge scheme. So I think it makes economic sense, it makes financial sense, it makes citizen sense that there is every state included in the converge scheme. So this is the other aspect which I wanted to mention. And the other initiatives, some of which are maybe more of in the evolving stage and the initial stages, things like e-rupee, etc. But there are certain other initiatives where I think I would request the states to focus, particularly the beneficiary facilitation, because all of us know what an experience it is for some patient who is affected to go to a hospital. There is a huge asymmetry, and when somebody is suffering from a problem, his willingness to explore, learn, identify how to avail a service will be difficult. It is in that position the Ayushman Mitra will play a very critical role in ensuring that he gets the right information and he gets the right benefit also. So this is my another request, that we should ensure that the beneficiary facilitating agencies are in place and the patient is given a better experience of going through the whole thing. Finally, I would also like to mention that the NHA is also engaged with another scheme, I would call it, called the ABDM, what we call the Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission. Now that is a very important developing framework which will make this whole healthcare experience easier and more foolproof. So we need to explore how the SHAs and the rest of the state health machinery also is engaged with the whole experience. I'm sure over these 2 days, we will definitely have a session where we try to understand and share experiences of how we take this forward. Apart from this, there are certain other initiatives also where over these 2 days, I would request the states to come out with their experiences and help us how we could try to sort them out. For example, the issue of medicines, the issue of generic medicines through the Jan Aushadhi Kendras. Now, what can be done to ensure that they are more easily available, and if whatever problems you have in trying to secure them, those could also be highlighted so that we could take it forward. So I would only like to say that in a forum like this, we have collective wisdom of a lot of people who had years of experience in running the scheme. And I think we should remember that this scheme in its present shape is just about 5 years old. So these are initial years, and a lot of work is yet to be done before we can say confidently that this scheme is in full shape to support the needs of the population. We are still a long way to go in terms of coverage, and though the sizes of some of the states are smaller here, it is definitely commendable that a couple of states have already gone for universal coverage. I think that should be our ultimate goal. So the number of persons covered under the scheme is going up, will be going up, and the scheme also provides a lot of flexibility to the states. In the initial years, we had some constraints, SECC data, all those other constraints were there. Today, the states are free to add on any number of beneficiaries, as long as they are having Aadhaar and they can be tagged and brought into the scheme. So with this flexibility, I would request your inputs to suggest to us how we can take it forward in a much more broader framework so that more people are able to benefit from this scheme. So with these few words, I commend this initiative. I would once again be failing if I don't thank the host state, the Honorable CM and the Mizoram State SHAs for their valuable support for conducting this event. And I'm sure with this initiative, we will come out with a lot of tangible, actionable points with which we can take the scheme forward. And I wish to thank all of you for sparing your time and participating. Thank you.
बीमार ना रहेगा अपलाचार, बीमारी का होगा मुफ्त उपचार. धन्यवाद महोदय. धन्यवाद.
We will now take a moment to unveil the memento. Dr. Serveline and Kevin will assist us. Alright, so the usher will be offering the memento to Alright. To our Honorable Chief Minister, Sri Zoram Next will be presented our Alright, now that we have received the memento, please unwrap it and we will all unveil it together. Open the box and let's give a big round of applause for the memento, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Take your seat, please. Alright, now that we are settled, on behalf of the organizers, I am profoundly delighted to request our Honorable Chief Minister, Sri Zoram for the presidential speech.
Well, important dignitaries from outside Mizoram here in the National Health Service, and important officials and dignitaries from Mizoram, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm really grateful here to be in this important occasion. The first thing I'd like to mention is that, in 1958, Deputy Commissioner of Mizoram came to Champhai, that is about some 10 years after the independence of India. Deputy Commissioner of Aizawl came to Champhai, and he was greeted with the national anthem of Jana Gana Mana. We were among the participants. The national anthem which we sang at the time did not end with Jaya Hai, it ended with Bharatava. The reason why I said this is that here in the remote corner of Mizoram, we are not much acquainted with Hindi. So, for us, Hindi is a little Greek to us. That is why, when I am going to pronounce this Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, ABPMJAY, for us it is more like a tongue twister. When I think it is 2002 or 3, I didn't remember the year, when the Jawaharlal Nehru National Urban Renewal Mission, JNNURM, was about to be launched. I was there in Delhi on the day that it was going to be launched. I told the secretary concerned, why you make it sound like a tongue twister? JNNURM. It needs 6 syllables. Still using the same original Jawaharlal Nehru National Urban Renewal Mission. Why don't you call it Janurem? JA taken from Jawaharlal, from National, NA, NREM, Janurem, Janurem. Only 3 syllables. It is much easier to pronounce. He said, well, we have printed so many books and so many booklets in the name of JNNURM. It's very difficult to change it now. So I told him, you people down here in Delhi, you are very inexpert in trying to coin a name and initials. So I said the same thing today. When we are going to pronounce it ABPMJAY, I think ABPMJAY, 7 syllables. Well, it really is a problem. I think some more expert people try to simplify it. So anyhow, the content is good, even though the name is a little tongue twister, but nevertheless, it's a good thing. Today, I said to myself, when they told me that you had to go to Aizawl Club and to make a speech and to be a chief guest here in this, I said, what is the name of that function? So nobody told me. I was a little worried. So when they told me it is Arogya Sangam, like that, so yeah, Ayushman Sangam. Sangam, I do not know. When I was in college, there was a film which is called Sangam, a very famous film. Only that much I know. I wonder whether it's a meeting of 3 things together. That was it. I do not know. But anyhow, today, easier to say that it is a Prime Minister's mission for the national health care. Simply let us say like that. For people here in Mizoram who can hardly speak Hindi. It really is a problem. Anyhow, the content is the same. Whatever be the packaging system's name is there. It's a good thing. So here we are very, very grateful here. And this ABPMJAY, I asked them, when was it started? You said it is 2017, 18, 2018. Let me say 18 years before the part of this ABPMJAY, I already had started a baby of healthcare scheme. In the beginning, I believe it is 2000, when I was a chief minister, and then the beginning of the BJP government. The finance minister was Ayushman. Ayushman Sinha was the finance minister. I went to him and I said, Ayushmanji, I have a vision. Because quite a lot of people, they suffer from different kinds of illness and they have no money. We like to help them. I, being an LA, I have to look after the poor people coming from my constituency. But I couldn't help them either. Let us try to find out. I had a vision that we should have a health care system in which the poor people will be able to avail this great opportunity. So, from the budgetary allocation that you are going to give me, you being the finance minister, you lend me about some 200 crore or so from my own due share of Mizoram state. If that much is not possible, maybe 100 crore, even at least a 50 crore, so that I can start something. The people will contribute something, and then in the core fund, they'll contribute more, we'll put there and invest there with interest, so that like the talent that we're going to innovation increasing, so that it can serve the health care of the poor people. And Ayushman Sinha said, your vision I really appreciate. I understand, I wish I would be able to help it. But if I give you a budgetary allocation in advance, contrary to the financial rules of the union government, other states will also claim the same thing. It will disturb the whole of the budgetary allocation system here in the Union of India. Even though your idea is good, I am sorry I cannot help it. That was about 18 years before the birth of this ABPMJAY. I had that baby already. So what did I do? Since a poor state like Mizoram cannot do this, I went to the Asian Development Bank. I requested the regional director of an Asian Development Bank. He was a Japanese, he was a regional director. So I requested him to come to Mizoram. You are a Japanese, you look like a Mizo, you have not visited Mizoram. If you come to Mizoram, you will feel it is interesting. The Mizos will believe that you are a Mizo. So, with the kind of invitation that will arouse his idea, I invited him. At last, I succeeded in inviting the regional director of Asian Development Bank. I asked him, if you can help me, in giving me the external aided project, the proposal of which I have prepared. Together with other projects, I will include this health care scheme. So, one way or the other, sometimes by praising him, sometimes by praising the Japanese government, sometimes praising the Asian development. Somehow, maybe in a miraculous way, I could convince the regional director. He gave me, at the time, a good amount of external aided project from Asian Development Bank, which was named, the very name, Mizoram Healthcare Scheme was accepted, and then a good amount of money came from Asian Development Bank, ADB. With that, we started this Mizoram Healthcare Scheme. In order to implement that, because at that time I believe 90% of the loan will have to be repaid by the government of India. 10% will have to be paid by the government of Mizoram. So, in order to pass through all the complexities of the finance ministry requirement, it takes a very long time. And it could come, I believe, in 2008 only. So, at last it came. But by the year 2008, after I was a chief minister for 10 years, election came and I was defeated and I could not come to power, even though the Asian Development Bank sanction of the healthcare scheme has come. We could do nothing. So I was in opposition for 10 years again. During my time, all those Asian Development Bank loans were lying, let us say, unactivated. So it simply lies there, and it has some interest. And I came to power again in 2018, the year in which this ABPMJA was born. So we reactivated those dormant Mizoram healthcare scheme that was unactivated for 10 years. So we reactivated it again. At the time, luckily, the COVID has not come yet. We came to power in the end of 2018, at the end of that. But actually, being at the fact end of the calendar year, the real government started from 2019. So, from my meager budget, still I contributed 50 crores to that Mizoram healthcare scheme. It has gone up to almost, I think, before the, I think it has come to 150 crores, something like that. More than that, 170 or so. No, together with my 50 new score, it has come up to 250. Before that, it was around about 200 crores in a small state like Mizoram. So we added another 50 crores. But there came the COVID. We could do nothing. Lockdown and almost a curfew-like things happened. Sometimes we can give more little of them, 20 crore or a few crores there. So up till now, we have got, how much would be 250, something like that crore. Yeah, we still have that. We put it there hoping for a better interest here and there, giving an investment. So that was the story, how we started things in Mizoram. Now came the ABPMJA way. Government of Indian scheme is here. Mizoram state scheme is here. We know that this ABPMJA way, it is not up to our satisfaction. And Mizoram healthcare scheme also was not up to our satisfaction. We make the enrollment contribute something for the healthcare, and we tried a lot. But with the coming of the COVID, we really could do nothing. And so up till now, we've been going on. A good number of people enrolled themselves in the Mizoram healthcare. We try to convert with this ABPMJA way, with the limitation on the government scheme, central government scheme, on the state government scheme. A lot of limitations are still there, we know. Yet, with this snail pace step, I know that we cannot do much because we were plagued by this COVID. So how shall we do the income? Because our budget is so meager, we can hardly pay the salary of our government servants. Again, what I did was, let me go again to Asian Development Bank to pick up the thread that we have left. And I approached the same regional director there in Delhi for another loan of Asian Development Bank. This time I asked more. I asked 1,000 crore. And now, very luckily, after a lot of efforts in which I have really exhausted even my oratory, and somehow I could succeed. And then the Indian government gave me a permission to take the loan of Asian Development Bank to the tune of 1,000 crore for this continuation of the national Mizoram healthcare scheme. Had it come, it will be above 1,000 crore, 1,200 and more than that. Of course, the state matching share has greatly increased. It's no more 90-10. Now it has come up to, out of that 1,000 crore, we have to pay 280 crores. And the government still has to pay 720. That's a great thing. So now we are waiting for that after the permission of the Finance Ministry Expenditure Department. So we are hoping that it will soon come. But anyhow, the disease did not stop. Illness did not stop. It still is invading the people. And once we enroll them in the Mizoram healthcare scheme, enroll themselves in the ABPMJA way also, utilizing these two schemes, we tried our best. But at the same time, money in the form of cash has to be given to the hospital expenditure. Well, the COVID is invading, and well, the people admitted to the hospital are increasing. And well, we're trying to do our best to identify almost all different kinds of illness to cover all those things. It has become very, very expensive. And then now, when people say that, look here, they're in a hospital, there are many liabilities and pending bills unpaid by the Mizoram healthcare scheme. I said that is right. The fact is that I put on a load which I cannot really carry, and I took a mouthful of food which I can hardly swallow. The fact is that was true. But anyhow, my stomach needs that food. Therefore, whether I have a problem in swallowing it or otherwise, I have to eat it. So anyhow, one way or the other, with a glass of water, with a little soup, I try to swallow and take more. So that is the big problem that Mizoram is having. I do not know whether the other chief minister would have that, I should say, that stupidity, or I should call it the wisdom. Whether they have the gut to do the same thing as the Mizoram chief minister is doing now. Now the election is coming with all those big liabilities lying there in the hospital to be paid from the Mizoram healthcare scheme. Well, my finance people said that, look here, we can hardly pay the salary of the government servants. So it has become a king-size headache for me. Anyhow, we are venturing, we have started, we have caught a tiger by the tail. We cannot let it go. If we release it, it is going to bite us. So we have to try it one way or another. But thank God that the expenditure department in the finance ministry has given the permission to take those loans to the tune of 1,000 crore. We believe that we will tame the tiger, and so now we are venturing on that. Now, whenever I happen to go down today, when I told them about the bamboo lingro, they said that we are ignorant, we do not know about this. 18 years before this ABPMJA was born, I went down to Delhi giving the gospel of this healthcare scheme to the big financial pundits down there in the cabinet. But so far I could not convince them. It took nearly 7-8 years to convince them. And in order to start by themselves, it took 18 years. But anyhow, it has come. It is good. Now, I am as old as that. I am as interested as that. So when you say that this project, which has been started by the government of India, and then at the same time there is a state matching scheme project on this line, and by convergence, at least it will help us. For example, the illness covered here, the illness covered there, if we converge them, and then the amount, the maximum amount which can be paid to each patient, we can increase it depending upon the availability of the fund. So now, anyhow, today what I want to tell you is that Mizoram, we have started in that way, and by the grace of God, we will try to continue on, if necessary, taking a loan with the help of the government of India, taking a contribution from the patients, possible patients among the poor people. Now my intention is that once we activate that ball from the government servant, it may not be necessary to take this healthcare system. All the people of Mizoram who are a member of this Mizoram healthcare scheme and all the government servants, we will be in the same category, enjoying the same thing. So that was my intention. But anyhow, at this time, I have not succeeded up to that limit, but nevertheless, it has so far greatly helped the local people. And with the sanctioning of the Asian Development Bank loan, I hope that Mizoram can set an example in all the states of India. Because my baby, it has now become almost 23 years old. So now, today, when you started this in the context of the Northeast, in the context from the central government of India, and in convergence with the state healthcare system, certainly I believe that the day will come when we will be successful. And not for the rich people, it's not a problem, but for the poor people to be affected by the illness, going to the hospital, they started the healthcare scheme, and then without giving them a big headache in payment to be paid from the healthcare system. The day will soon come, and I believe that within some few years from now on, Mizoram certainly will be an example for all other states. And here our important dignitaries, here I request to adjust the functioning, the activity and the functioning of this ABPMJA way, so that it can be converged together with the scheme may be started by the state government, so that if it works together, central government and then the state government working together for the health care, because health is the most important thing that we have in life. Because as the saying goes, when health is lost, even the biggest man, the greatest man, the strongest man, when his health comes down, nothing is left. Therefore, it is our responsibility that God has given to us that we should multiply this talent. And so, in my idea, if the government of India paid more attention, and if the government of India allocate more crores for this healthcare system to be used.
For your insightful and very informative speech. Alright, and now National Health Authority would like to present our dignitaries with a souvenir. And may I request the dignitaries I called out to come forward on the floor to accept our token of appreciation, please. All right, first up, to facilitate our Honorable Chief Minister of Mizoram, Sri Zoram Thanga, may I call upon Sri S. Gopalakrishnan to come forward, please. Okay. Chief Executive Officer, National Health Authority, to do the honor. May I invite Dr. Basan Garg, Additional Chief Executive Officer, NHA, to facilitate Srimati Estelle Roatkimi, Principal Secretary, Health and Family Welfare. And may I invite again Dr. Basan Garg, Additional CEO, NHA, to facilitate Dr. Siddharth Singh, CEO, Assam. May I request Sri Gayasuddin Ahmed, FANHA, to facilitate Dr. Biatan Sangi, CEO, Mizoram. Thank you, everyone. And now we would like to take another opportunity by the State Health Authority to welcome and thank our dignitaries with Mizoram handicrafts, stalls, mementos and bouquet. To facilitate our Honorable Chief Minister, Sri Zoram Thanga, may I call upon Sri S. Gopalakrishnan, Gopalakrishnan, Chief Executive Officer and NHA, to do the honor, please.
Great.
All right. Thank you. May I call upon, may I request our Honorable Chief Minister of Mizoram, Sri Zoramthanga, to in turn facilitate Sri S. Gopalakrishnan, CEO NHA. And now, may I invite Dr. Basan Garg, Additional CEO NHA, to facilitate Srimati S.L. Watkimi, Principal Secretary, Health and Family Welfare Department. We are running short, a little bit short on time, but it's on the way.
Thank you so much.
Big round of applause, everyone. As we're in the process of arranging another one, may I kindly request our Honorable Chief Minister of Mizoram, Sri Zoramthanga, to facilitate Dr. Basan Garg, Additional CEO NHA. May I request Srimati S.L. Watkimi, Principal Secretary, Health and Family Welfare Department, to facilitate Sri Gayasudin Ahmed, FA, NHA. May I request Sri Gopalakrishnan to facilitate Dr. Siddharth. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, National Health Authority and State Health Authority Agency, for your thoughtful and heartwarming gesture. And yes, we have almost come to the end of our session, and to deliver the vote of thanks, may I call upon Dr. Biapansari, CEO of Mizoram.
Dignitaries of the dais, honorable delegates, friends and invitees, I feel honored and privileged to be delivering the vote of thanks on this occasion. First of all, I'm grateful to the Almighty God for giving us this privilege to have this function, and to our Honorable Chief Minister for honoring us with your presence. It is indeed a matter of pride for the State Health Agency to have you in our midst. We are grateful for your words of support, for your vision, for your commitment to the success of this Mizoram State Healthcare Scheme, as well as the ABPMJY, and your words of convergence for the scheme of ABPMJY and the State Healthcare Scheme. And your concern for the poorer sections of the society is highly commendable, and we hope that with your blessings it will yield dividends. Once again, sir, we thank you and we are encouraged by your presence. To our beloved Principal Secretary, Health and Family Welfare, the epitome of grace, beauty and intellect, we are sincerely thankful for your presence and for your words. And we are indebted to your ever support and your guidance, and your trust in us always inspires us. To the CEO, Sri S. Gopalakrishnan, your kindness that we see in your words, in your eyes, have given us the confidence that under your leadership, ABPMJY will ever rise to greater heights and improvement. And it is at this juncture, I would want to request you that the additional CEO in his presentation had highlighted the low level of participation of the private hospitals in Mizoram. And that is a fact because with the current packaging rates, they are not willing to come on board. And So, Sir CEO, I would request you under your leadership, if the premium amount could be enhanced from 1052, because at this rate it is very difficult to further improvise on the scheme. So I take this opportunity to request you for that as well. To the additional CEO, thank you for your very enlightening and very inspiring presentation. And I would also like to take this opportunity to mention that the public hospitals, that inactive public hospitals that we have is still quite big. We have about 34 as per your presentation. That is due to the not availability of the medical officers in the public hospitals, as a result of which we are not able to have 100% active hospitals. And with regard to the pending issues that you have highlighted, with HPP 202, with the loan that the Honorable Chief Minister was speaking of, after that we have received that, we feel that we will be able to go towards HPP 202. And with regard to the uniform Ayushman kiosks, we are in the process, we have chalked out all the plans, we are in the process, and by the next, hopefully by the next quarter, we will be able to embark on it. And after our Ayushman drive, we had undertaken it without these agencies. We had used our own operators, so even we have utilized our operators, and I wanted to mention that the pending banking integration is one of the reasons why we have some amount of pending claims as well. So, additional CEO Dr. Basant Grant, your presentation has also inspired us and motivates us towards better performance, and I thank you for your support to make this program a success. And I believe you are the torchbearer for this event. Thank you again. And Financial Advisor Shri Udian Ahmed, seeing your presence here makes us feel financially safe. And we know that, we hope that you would continue the timely release of the funds to us so that the scheme can go without hitch. Thank you again for your presence, sir. And Dr. Siddharth Singh, CEO of Assam, always welcome. And it's always indeed a pleasure to see you. Your smiling face is always, very encouraging. And thank you for your presence again. And I would also want to thank the NHA team for this event, because a very robust team at the NHA level, Mr. Rohit spearheading it. It has taken us many weeks to plan this and to culminate into the successful event. Thank you. Yes. Thank you to the NHA team. Special recognition and acknowledgement to all the NHA team. A wide round of applause and thanks to all the esteemed colleagues from the sister states of the Northeast. Your presence has ensured the success of this Arogya Sangam. If we have not met your expectations so far, please be assured that we have your best interests at heart, and the free program that would continue tonight, we hope that it will be a cumulative effect. And if that also still doesn't tingle your senses, we hope that the field trip tomorrow at Prayek Klang, with all the exertions and all the endorphins that will be erupting from your bodies, will be, it will give you pleasurable memories. Thank you once again for your presence, and thank you once again for making it important to be here in Mizoram. And to all our distinguished invitees who have made this event memorable, words cannot express our gratitude for your presence and for your support. Photographers, for the beautiful memories that you would be giving us, and our beautiful ushers, a sight for sore eyes, thank you indeed. And a very special recognition and acknowledgement to the SHS staff who have dedicated and worked tirelessly, stressfully, I should say, on some occasions, so that this function could be successful. And may I mention that, yes, I have a very innovative team This one is designed by the old SHA staff. Our computer engineer has designed it, not only designed it and made this. And the conference bag that was given to all of you was also designed by one of our medical officers. So I must say that we have a very innovative and very creative team at the SHA. So finally, thank you all once again for your presence, and let us continue to have a very successful interaction, and let's hope that ABPMJ World will ever rise to greater heights with all our efforts and all the words of wisdom that we have heard. Thank you once again all.
Thank you, Dr. Byatin-Sang, for your brief vote of thanks. In the meantime, with that, we've come to the end of our first session. However, continue to enjoy your snacks, ladies and gentlemen. And we will request a group photograph, 2 photographs in fact. The first one is specifically for our dignitaries on the dais, and the next photograph, the dignitaries on the dais with all the invitees. So please don't go anywhere. If we are ready, yes, please come forward. All our dignitaries on the dais, and we will take a group photograph. Thank you. And may I request you to remain standing because we want to take a photo. All right, we have a very beautiful photo booth prepared outside.
You can stand on a chair. You can drag a chair and stand on that.
Okay.